back to my channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to ring that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today, what I'm going to do is an entire video based around common makeup mistakes, things that I have done in my makeup routine that I've had to learn the hard way how to fix. Some of them are a little bit more well known. Some of them maybe might be new to you, but I just wanted to sit down and do my makeup. So I'm going to do my makeup, and on one side I'm going to fix the mistakes that I made, so you can see kind of a half and half before and after. These are really easy little tricks that I've learned over the years of just how to fix common little mistakes, such as too dark eyebrows, trying to fix your wing liner, maybe too harsh or too much bronzer or contour, how to match your foundation to your neck and body. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, then go ahead and keep watching and let's get her done. I do my face in a pretty specific way. I like to do my eyebrows, my eyes, and then my foundation, and I find doing my makeup that way really gives me the opportunity to kind of clean things up as I go. I feel like it gives me a more polished end result if I do it that way. You can definitely do it any way you would like. If you'd prefer to do your face first, I can show you some tricks of how to keep your eyeshadow off of your face. But let's go ahead and start with skin prep. Skin prep is one of the most important parts of makeup. If your skin underneath your foundation, underneath your makeup is dry, is not well exfoliated, is kind of rough and bumpy, your makeup's not going to go on top very smoothly. So I have two products. I have a SPF that I really do like to use under my makeup. This is the Pure UV Aqua Rich. It's an SPF of 50. This is a watery essence, so it's super hydrating. It's like a really kind of slick water, cool feeling on the face. It like is a little white lotion, and then I just apply that to my skin as the SPF protection that I need, but also is super hydrating. I have normal leading a little bit more dry skin. I concentrate a lot on hydrating products. Another really hydrating product is this Thomas Roth. This is a water drench hyaluronic cloud cream. I absolutely love this moisturizer. It is so cooling on the skin. I really like those products that kind of feel cool when you put them on your skin. It's a great hydrating base to start your foundation routine. So I went ahead and zoomed you in just so you can actually really see what I am doing. I'm going to go and start with my eyebrows. A common mistake that a lot of people make, including myself, and I found the perfect product to fix it, is too dark or too bold of eyebrows. Through the years of doing my eyebrows, I've definitely gone through different stages of using different types of products. There's pomades, there's pencils, there's pens, there's so many products out there, so it's hard to know what's going to work best for you. And not only that, it's really hard to pick out the perfect tone for your eyebrows. I had a lot of difficulty. A lot of products I get are really dark. So I'm going to show you how I can fix pretty much any color that might not match into something that actually does match. So first, for eyebrows, I like to just go ahead and brush up my brows. I'm going to do a more in-depth brow routine. Not that I think my brows are just perfect, but this is how I have found I like to do my brows. So what I do first is I always brush them up, and then I like to use a gel. I will go ahead and just kind of gel them up into place. I have two different eyebrow products. I have a pencil. I used to use pencils all the time. They are a very popular eyebrow product. And then I have an eyebrow pen. I personally prefer an eyebrow pen. I feel like I can get really great hair-like strokes. It looks a lot more natural, I think. But depending on the product you use, a pencil I feel like is really easy to kind of go overboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pencil on the tail end, and then I'm going to use my little brow flick pen on the front. Both of these are too dark for me. They are a darker brown, so they don't work great. I haven't used them in quite some time, but I'm going to show you how you can fix that if you do end up picking out a product that is too dark for your brows. Alright, eyebrows are done. So I personally prefer a softer, more fluffy brow. So I'm going to show you how to take something like this that's a bit more bold and definitely a little bit too dark for me, and how to tone it down and kind of fluff it out with just a few products. First thing I like to do when my brows are too much is take a clean spoolie and just brush it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this eyebrow and leave this one a little bit too much. This is my good side of my face. Everything always turns out better on this side. I wanted to make it a little bit more fair, and I'm going to go ahead and fix the side that normally is a little bit more difficult for me. So what I like to do is just brush out the eyebrows that are too bold, kind of fluff them up a little bit. I'll go backwards a little bit just to break up that product if it ended up being too much. One of my absolute most favorite products that I have ever purchased is my e.l.f. Wow Brow. This is an incredibly pigmented brow gel. It has fibers in it, so it can add that fluffy effect to your brows. This is a really great kind of eraser for your brows. So I have this in taupe. It's a really good universal lighter color. So what I like to do is just brush it into my eyebrows, brushing in upward strokes. So that you can see this side is already looking a little bit softer, a little bit more fluffy, and kind of more of that trending fluffy brow instead of the bold, harsh brow. So another thing I'm going to show you is if you get your eyebrows too far down or they're not looking just as polished and clean as you would like. So what I like to do is take a flat brush. A flat brush like this is your best friend when it comes to makeup and makeup mistakes and how to fix them. So I love having a solid 7 or 8 of these in my collection. And then I use a little bit of concealer, whatever you were using that day, or you could use something that's a little bit more closer to your skin tone. A tiny bit on the brush. And then I like to go under my brow and just clean it up underneath. I feel like it gives a really good polished look and they don't look quite as messy. And then sometimes if you go too far up, I will go ahead and clean the top part as well. And then lastly, you can use a little bit more brow gel and really get those to fluff up and just stay exactly where you want them. Alright, so there are the 2 eyebrows. Definitely personal preference. I think this looks a little bit too bold for me. I like this one. It's a little bit more natural, a little bit more fluffy, and a bit more trending right now with makeup. You don't have to do trending makeup. You can do it however you want. I personally prefer something like this. So next what I'm going to do is go ahead and conceal my eyelids. I'm not going to do any eyeshadow tricks or tips in this video. I would like to do a video all about eyeshadows, do's and don'ts. So let's go ahead and hop into wing liner. The biggest mistake I have made so many times is you're trying to get it lined up and you keep just getting bigger and bigger and further out and larger and wider as you're going. So I'm going to show you my tips and tricks of how to keep a liner small, and if you do accidentally get it too big, how to fix. I like to use a eyeliner that has a brush tip, something that is really small. The smaller the better. I have more control and then I can just put the liner where I want it. I love the NYX That's the Point Hella Fine eyeliner. It is so matte and black and it really dries down fast. It stays on there all day and it has the tiniest brush tip. So there is the brush tip, just a tiny little baby. It makes it really easy for me to make a line that is small and precise. So how I like to do my eyeliner is start at the very tip of my eye and just flick out and then go right back in. I like to do it with my eyes open because I do have a bit of a hooded eye, and just fill in the tiny little wing. So there you go. I went ahead and did a little bit too long. To show you how easy it is to fix an eyeliner. I love using a makeup wipe during my makeup routine to clean any fallout, to fix wing liner. So what I do is I just stick it on my finger like that. I line it up under my eye exactly where I'd want the liner to go, and then I just gently pull up and clean as I go. And then I can really adjust the shape of my wing into any type of shape I want. I can clean up underneath if I got too thick down at the bottom. So there is that winged liner after I cleaned it up. This is just so easy. You can really just clean right up. It doesn't matter if you make it too big or too small. It's kind of like a little eraser. That's another big reason I like to do my eyes first, because then I'm not messing up any foundation I have and I can really fix the eyeliner to however I want. Also, I'm not worried about eyeshadow or anything falling down. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. I find primer really important. I like to change it up for whatever my skin needs are for that day or the specific season. During the winter, I have really dry skin. I like to use something that's hydrating, so I like to use more of a serum-y type primer. This is the Wet n Wild Primer Focus Primer Serum. I love this. Or during the summer when I'm a little more sweaty and want my makeup to really adhere to my skin, I like to use like a more silicone-like primer. This one is silicone free. I do really love this one. It's the Impossible Primer, also from Wet n Wild. I really love Wet n Wild's primers. I find that they work really well. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead with my Impossible Primer, And I like to apply this with my fingers. Another very common makeup mistake I used to make all the time was apply my primer and then go right into foundation. Doing that can cause a lot of peeling. Your foundation can maybe not sit quite as well. So what I do is I prime and then I just let it sit for a few minutes. What I'll do is maybe brush out my eyebrows, or this is the time you can kind of line up your eyebrows or touch up anything or go get dressed and then come back and apply your foundation. Next, we're gonna go in with foundation. Foundation can be really, really difficult to pick out the right tone for you, especially if you're kind of new to figuring out your undertone. So something I have discovered this past year, and is probably one of my favorite purchases ever, are mixing mediums for foundation. So these are the LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigments. I really, really love these. They work so great. And then if you learn a little bit about color theory, these help so much to get the proper undertone. So I have the blue. I use the blue all the time. I have white to lighten up, and then I do have the orange, which can help darken. The orange is a little bit more tricky to work with. It's really, really, really pigmented, so it can turn your foundation really orange very fast. So if you find that your foundations are always too warm or too yellow, I would definitely go with a blue. It helps neutralize that and bring it to more of a neutral undertone. I have a really neutral undertone, so I love the blue. It is the one I use the most because then I can just neutralize any type of foundation. The white works so well if you have darker foundations. I also fluctuate with skin tone. During the summer, I do enjoy being out in the sun, so I can definitely get a bit of a tan. I also self-tan, and then I am naturally very pale. I'm pretty well natural undertone right now, so I love having these to really mix with any foundation. I used to have to buy multiple colors of foundations. I don't have to do that anymore because then I can just mix and create any foundation I need. So the foundation I'm going to use today is too dark. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation that is too dark on this side, and then I am going to fix it to match my skin tone better, and then I'll apply it on this side. So I am just going to squeeze on a little bit, and I don't know if you can see on camera, but it is definitely too dark for me right now. Alright, so there's the foundation. It's definitely too dark. I'm not sure if you can really see it on camera, but it does not match with my neck. I'll see if I can kind of show you that. There's a line, definitely does not match. So what I'm going to do is show you on the back of my hand the foundation. So there is that foundation, a little bit too warm for me. And I'm going to apply some blue neutralizer. This is extremely pigmented, so you need the literal tiniest amount. And then what I do is I take just a brush and I blend it all together until it matches the color of my hand better. So there is the original color of the foundation, and there it is neutralized more. You can see that this color just really blends into my hand, and this is definitely too warm. Get it out. So there is that side. You can see that it matches my neck a lot better than this side. You can definitely see right there that it is too dark. It is just so easy to take the same foundation and just neutralize it using those pigments. And then onto the concealer. So I used to apply concealer like that with tons of product, bring it really far down, and I would even go more and more and more. So what I have learned over the time is definitely less is more. So I will apply just a little bit and then a little on my cheeks because I do have that redness. To blend it out, what I used to do is I used to just go boom, 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 boom and blend it all out. That is bringing a lot of product up to under your eye where your eye naturally creases. It looks very bright doing it that way, but up close you can see a lot of creasing. So what you want to do instead is start low and then come up. And really almost avoid this area right here where you have their natural creases. I like to bring out back here a little bit. It does lift the area. And then underneath your eyes, it looks so much more natural. It looks just as bright as this side, but it just looks way better up close. It doesn't look super creasy. And you have your natural creases anyway, so you don't really want to pile a bunch of product into those natural creases. So I'm going to go ahead and powder. Powder products I am kind of cautious about because I do have that drier skin. I don't like a ton of powder on my face. One product that I do love is the Kossa's Cloud Set. I have this in Breezy. So I'll show you how I apply it. So I just tap my brush into it, kind of brush it off, and just so ever so lightly fluff that onto my under eyes. What you do want to avoid is putting on too much product. So I'm going to go on this side with a heavier, more full coverage powder. And yes, in video it looks smooth and air flawless, but it does look quite heavy up close. So you really want to be careful and kind of choosy of the type of powders you pick. If you have dry skin, go for something a little bit lighter. I have the Kossa's one. I also have the number 7. This is the Lift and Illuminate. This is another really, really great lightweight powder. Kind of stay away from the full coverage, the kind of powder foundations. They look flawless, but they look very heavy up close. And you can't always trust what you see on YouTube because makeup looks a lot different once it's relayed onto a camera versus in person. Because see, this side might look really flawless and kind of brightened, but it definitely looks a lot heavier up close. Real quick, I'm going to show you another tip and trick if your foundation is too dark and you don't have any type of mixing mediums. What you do is take a bronzer. I really like one that has some shimmer. I feel like it looks really natural. And what I'll do is just put that on a brush and apply that onto my neck. A lot of people will say take your foundation down your neck. I personally don't like to do that because I feel like it makes your neck look like it has foundation on it, because your neck is kind of that softer, moving skin. It has lines and everything. So I feel like you can definitely see the foundation more that way. But if you use a bronzer, it looks so much more natural, like your skin is just actually bronzed. So there you go. You can kind of see that now my neck and my face definitely match a little bit better. Alright, so next I'm going to go in bronzer. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula. This is Sculpt Bronzer. It's a little bit darker. So I am going to do my bronzer just a little bit over the top. And a lot of times I can find myself going too far down my cheek to where it looks almost blown out. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and then on this side I will show you how I fix that. So I like to take a little bit up on my forehead, and I'm going to do that pretty heavily. Alright, so I went ahead and did my bronzer. I did way too much on the cheeks, way too much on the forehead. I just wanted to show you how to tone it down. A lot of times I can find myself getting a little overboard with bronzer, and this is how you can just fix it super easily. So this is where a full coverage powder foundation type powder really does come in handy. I have the Cat Aquasurance. This is a really great full coverage powder that is like a magic eraser for your face as well. I also have the Jacklyn Cosmetics Brighting and Setting Powder. These are really great full coverage, really brightening powders. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Jacklyn, and I'm going to use this darkest color down here. I believe that is a light banana. And you can do this with either a brush or a sponge. I'm going to go ahead and use my sponge. I just put it into the product, and then you can just line up right underneath where you went too far down. And you can just erase that. You bring it over here. Kind of tap it out and tap it over just a little bit to really blend that in. And then there you go. It kind of just fades right naturally into the skin. This is a really great powder to do that because it's not super heavy. So it doesn't look like I have a bunch of powder down here. It looks really just flawless. And then tap it up over the bronzer, and then there you can see it has given me the chisel and the contour that I wanted, but it's definitely toned it down and it looks just so much more polished. I really do love to have some of these pigmented powders in my collection to do that, to clean things up if you ever get a little bit too much. So there is that side versus the over bronze, definitely too far down, and it's really easy to fix that. So next I'm going to go in with some blush. I am going to use my Born to Shine OPV palette because these are extremely pigmented and super bright. So I want to show you how to tone down maybe too much blush. I do have a really bad habit of doing too much blush. I pretty much use this trick every single time I do my makeup because I normally apply more blush than I actually want to tone it down a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and go in with this Unstoppable super bright pink color. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a ton of this blush. So this is really scary looking, but what I'm going to do is take my sponge that has my foundation and the powder, and I'm just going to gently tap it over where I applied the blush, and then you'll be able to see how whatever is left on the sponge will just be able to tone down that blush. It has the leftover foundation and the leftover powder, and that's going to help everything just kind of tap back in, blend itself out, and look so much more natural. So you can see there already I've been able to just tone it down, but you can still see that beautiful pink color underneath. It's not taking it away, it's not making it splotchy. It's just really being able to tap into my foundation and powder because there is a little bit left over on the sponge. So there is that side with the blush looking a lot more wearable and a very much more natural versus where we started off and all I did was take the little sponge and just tap it out. It is the same concept if you go over on highlighter, you get too much, just tap it out. If you need to, you can apply a little bit more foundation to your sponge on the back of your hand and then just tap that out as well. But really the sponge, after you've used it for foundation, is a great tool to use to kind of touch things up. I'm going to curl my lashes and use my mascara, and then I will be right back. Alright, so I did my mascara. Two of the worst things that can happen to my mascara is I can get some on my eyelid, which I happen to do a lot. And then also, I don't like to have super clumpy mascara. I like it to be more lengthened and just kind of more fluttery. So here is a tool that I got off of Amazon. It's a little rake for your mascara. So what I like to do is wait till it completely dries down, and then I will wiggle this at the very base of my eyelashes, pull it out, and it gets any clumps out of your lashes. It's really inexpensive. This is a great tool if you like those more separated, kind of more fluffy lash. Also, for anything you get on the lid, wait till it dries. Do not try to do it while it's wet because it will just smudge right into your eyelid. Wait till it dries, take a Q-tip, and then you can actually just flake it away. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Q-tip and just flake away what I have up here and any other little bits of mascara. And then I am going to use this little tool and go right at the base and pull out any clumps to really be able to separate. I like this tool also just to keep my lashes separated however I want. I really have a lot of control of how my lashes look using this type of like just little raking product. Alright, let's go ahead and go into lips. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. I'm going to do it a little bit more wonky because I find the biggest mistake I can make with my lips is messing up the lip liner. Alright, so let's go ahead and fix this lip liner issue. I went out of the lines a couple of times. This is where a flat brush comes in handy yet again. You can do one of two things. You can just wet it with your makeup wipe, so there's a little bit of makeup remover, or you can go in with some concealer. And what I do is I just take this and I really just erase any little mistakes I did with my liner. I love this because I can get really, really defined lip lines and I can really kind of create it however I want. I like to wipe my brush off on the back of my hand and get just super, super crisp lines. I'm going to go in with a liquid lipstick, this Jeffree Star Androgyny, and just apply that. I like to keep it just in the middle. And then if you find your lipstick is a little bit too dark and you want to kind of give it a little bit more dimension, throw on the tiniest amount of concealer. So I'm going to do on this side. And I just like to tap that out with my finger. But on this side where I did the concealer, it definitely makes your lips just look a bit fuller, more dimensional. I really like how this looks a lot better than how this looks where it's just one color and it's kind of dark. And then if you were thinking it is looking a little dry, throw on some gloss. Gloss makes everything look so much more juicy and kind of voluminous. So there is the lips up close. I really love how this side looks. It looks fuller. It's overdrawn a little bit, but it looks really crisp and clean. Another thing that I think is pretty much just a magic eraser for your makeup is a setting spray. Whether you have dry skin or oily skin, there's a setting spray out there for you. I really love what they do to my makeup. I think they just mesh it all together really well. Go ahead and just spray this side. You can see that beautiful glow, and it really helps everything kind of just mesh together. Alright, so there is a side-by-side comparison of common makeup mistakes and how easy it really is to fix them. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye, guys!